Created by she, her, continued by he, him. How we doing out there? Good, great, grand, yan, wonderful. See, the breaks are getting a little longer, aren't they? Yeah. Well, watching movies has lost its fun. I'm not even gonna lie. I can't remember. Yes, I can. I can remember. But I want to say there's only 2 movies in the last few months that I have watched for me and me alone, and the rest are due to obligation, and, well, today is no different. However, I must say, off the top knot, this is going to be the first part in a 7-part series. It's going to be 1 of 7 for this particular box set. Now, I should point out I have had a good time up until this point with the box set, which is the He Came from the Swamp, the William Griffey collection. The William Griffey collection, bringing together 7 of Griffey's most outlandish movies, plus a feature-length documentary on the filmmaker's career. He Came from the Swamp. The William Griffey collection packs in a menacing menagerie of demented jellyfish men. It's man, but okay. Zombified witch doctors, homicidal hippies, and seductive matrons, not to mention the ubiquitous go-go dancing, to create one of the most wildly entertaining box sets of all time. Boy, they are not kidding about that fucking go-go dancing. Jesus Christ. So, as you see on your screen, your dial, however, you are choosing to join me today. I am perplexed as to why. Sting of Death, which is a 1965 American science fiction horror film directed by William Griffey, written by Al Dempsey, and starring Joe Morrison, Valerie Hawkins, Deanna Lund, John Vella, and Jack Nagel. Its plot concerns 5 female college students. Who writes these things? That's not true. College students who head to the Florida Everglades for a holiday, but instead, I don't think a holiday is explicitly stated either. But instead of fun in the sun, they run into trouble with are you ready? Are you ready? They run into trouble with a mutated, bloodthirsty, and quite deadly jellyfish man monster. Yep. I'm going to be honest with you. If you would have asked me a few years ago, or whenever the fuck this terrible show was created by my ex who hates me, if you'd have said, hey, at one point you're going to be talking about jellyfish men, well, I would have said, not on my show. Well, life's funny. Life finds a way, doesn't it? Just a little bit. So I got to say, look, for a movie that came out in the 60s, that is clearly an exploitative film, that is clearly, these films from William Griffey, like, there's no big studio behind them, there's no Warner Brothers, there's no Sony, there's no Paramount, there's no Columbia. It's just him, I don't want to say friends, but his business associates, basically scouring the lands of the Everglades and finding ways to make films. Now, Sting of Death, one of the first things I want to mention, because it's one of my favorite Universal monsters of all time, the creature from the Black Lagoon. The scenes, the underwater sequences filmed in Sting of Death were the same locations filmed for Creature from the Black Lagoon, which a huge redeeming quality of mine. Now, I gotta say, so when I first started embarking on the William Griffey collection, I had never heard of these films. I'm not even going to front. Let's not play games. In fact, some of them only are just now being brought to home video or home Blu-ray, as it were, And I mean, like one of them, I think it's called either The Psychedelic Priest, which will be the 4th on the docket. I mean, that went away. You know, like the prints went away. There was a brief direct-to-video release of it in like 2001, but that can be said for most of these films. And I mean, all you got to do to kind of see the existence of these films, just check how much information is on all the films that I'm going to be doing for this 7-part series. Not a whole lot of information, you know, which is kind of wild to me. Well, I mean, wild in the sense just because I would assume that everything's on Google and every little cotton picking thing that I would want to search is on Google. But, you know, not so much. And I'm starting to think that, you know, a lot of people that had anything to do with these films are long gone or view it as an eyesore. I don't know that for a certainty, but you know, they were fun as I've started to get into these films. I want to say for the first half of Sting of Death, like especially, so the go-go dancing thing, that's a fucking thing. There is a sequence in this, you know what, we'll get to it. A young blonde woman in a black bikini, I don't know why that is written, but it lies on a dock in Florida, sunbathing, listening to her transistor radio. She turns it off after hearing the news report. She doesn't turn it off. About unexplained local murders. Maybe she does. Then, without warning, a monstrous hand, which is hilarious because it is a black leather glove. So the sequences, I would like to point out, when she's listening to the radio, you would be led to believe, so you see kind of like the inner workings of the radio, and you see this black hand, before she's attacked, you see this black hand with a screwdriver in its hand, just merely touch some of the wiring on the radio, and I thought what was so hilarious about it is like, there's almost like a boom, bam, pow Batman effect when the screwdriver touches the wiring. and you know, again, like at 65, I'm not, some of the younger crowds would be like, what the fuck are we watching? This is ridiculous. I was like, we are ridiculous, or this is ridiculous, but we're going to watch it with a fucking critical eye, right? And dude, I laughed out loud. Like I was just like, holy fuck. Here we go. And sure enough, right before the woman is moited, dragged in off the dock into the sea, it's the same black hand, black leather glove, and it's just, on some level, you have to appreciate the, and I don't know how Mr. Grefé would feel about me saying this, but you'd have to appreciate the guerrilla filmmaking feel to all this, because I mean, you're not, you know, I mean, in the 50s and 60s, you are ushering in a lot of huge set pieces in Hollywood, and this is just not it. So intercut with the power being something out of a Batman graphic. See almost everything inside the monster's yeah, you see everything with the exception of the monster's face real early. Meanwhile, college friends arrive at the home of Dr. Richardson, who may have the best shorts I've ever seen depicted on film. And if you do, I don't know if this particular film's on Tubi. I know some of the films in this box set are on Tubi right now. Tubi is free. Check it out before you buy the box set if you're one of those people, or take my word for it and just haul off. I mean, there's, on the box set as a whole, each disc has hours of bonus features. In fact, the box set by the distributors, I actually had to make a conscientious decision recently because I think I got 27 movies sent to me, and I'm going over all the bonus features on each and everything that they sent to me. It would be an impossibility for me to get these all done by the end of the year if I explored every single bonus feature. And obviously, people that listen to the show, you know I hate doing that. I am a completionist. If a film has 3 commentaries, I watch the film with all 3 commentaries. If I watch the movie by itself, sometimes I'll actually, so with a lot of the Argento films that I was reviewing, I was watching the film 4 times. So I would watch the English version, watch the Italian version, and then watch the film again with the commentary. I know, it's psychopathic, and in fact, the older I get, I'm realizing look, I mean, they're informative, I nerd out, whatever, just kind of sit back and enjoy the conversation about movie magic. But the fact of the matter is there's just, I've said it before, I'll say it again. Believe it or not, members of the audience, I know this is going to sound crazy. I actually like doing other things besides working and watching movies. I know, it's mind-blowing, right? But believe it or not, I do. And somewhere, I don't know who I was talking to, perhaps my chick at the she was just like, yeah, that's a fucking lot. And then I told her, yeah, there's probably like 80 to 100 hours of bonus features, and she just kind of looked at me like I had a third eye. And I was and after talking with her and a couple other, I was just like, yeah, you know what, I can't. It's hard enough to do 27 films in a timely fashion. It's teeters on impossible because, I feel a sense of obligation to the distributors that are nice enough to send me this stuff, but I feel an obligation to release this stuff in a timely manner. And it actually hurt when I made the decision that I was like, you know what, there's only so much you can do. If this was my full-time job, different fucking story, but it's not. And I just, I would love to have sat down and listened to the commentary with Griffey and Frank Henenlotter. Like, I love Frank Henenlotter, but it's just like, okay, I got 7 movies to do, fucking 18 more to go, 17 more to go. You can't do this. Anyway, so what was I talking about? Dr. Richardson's shorts. Oh my God, I must have sent my chick 15 pictures of his shorts, and she was just like, I got it. I would really like to be there with you right now to see this outlandishness that you're watching, but please stop sending me pictures of his shorts. So we'll touch on the go-go dancing here in a second, because I also annoyed the shit out of her by sending multiple videos of these obscenely long dance sequences, and we're talking 2, 3, even 4 minutes, especially when the pop dance song "Do the Jellyfish" comes on. It was such a, we'll get there. At the home of Dr. Richardson, played by Jack Nagel, who is the father of one of them, father of Karen, who is played by Deanna Lund. Valerie Hawkins, my bad. Valerie Hawkins plays Karen Richardson. And they're marine biologists who study the evolution of sea life. Richardson has an assistant, Dr. John Hoyt, played by Joe Morrison. And there's some others. We got Louise, played by Sandy Lee Kane. Jessica, played by Deanna Lund. Donna, played by Lois Edelman, and Susan, played by Blanche Devereaux. And they're all staying at Dr. Richardson's house. But they're wondering why their friend Ruth has not at the house yet, or is back at the house. Well, it turns out she was the one on the dock listening to the radio about the Moitas. But this is true. So she gone. Here, when we see the group of women and Dr. Richardson and old John boy, what's John's name? John Hoyt, the main love interest. He had a couple of lines before he actually kind of joins the group where I just did not think he was going to be an integral part of the movie. he says something like he's carrying the woman's bags, and as they're all gathering on the patio, and he's carrying them, he's just like, I don't know why you brought all these bags, see? No, that's like 1930s. Why did I say that? I don't know why you brought all these bags. The bikinis would have been enough. And I was just like, oof, that's toxic white male bullshit. I know. Look, I'm not one of you people. Yeah, I'm talking to you, the audience, that will be taken out of the film because of, cultural changes that had not occurred yet. But I definitely was sitting there and I was just like, well, I mean, I don't think there's one black person in this entire film. That does annoy me, because I don't know, it's the 60s, free love, peace, love, dope, but no black people. But anyway, there are times when I'm sitting there and I'm just like, oof, that is, the toxicity is so ingrained that it is what it is, different time, but fuck, sometimes that shit is just, it's wild. So anyway, they gather on the patio and we meet Egon. Egon, played by John Vella. Very, I don't know if this fits, but we're gonna run with it anyway. Very vaudevillian acting from John Vella, and it's still good. So when Egon shows up, half his face is deformed. You learn that Egon and Karen, the daughter of Dr. Richardson, they kind of have a weird relationship. They like each other, but I think Egon thinks a little bit more of it than Karen does. Of course, the other group of girls make fun of the way Egon looks, and Karen kind of, gets them to back off a little bit. But I obviously I'm not going to ruin anything for you, but this is a spoiler. So when Egon shows up, I had the first thought of, oh, well, that's the killer. And then I immediately redacted that, because I think nowadays we do, statistically speaking, we do a really good job of kind of throwing the audience off the trail in terms of being able to piece together the ending, unless it's like one of those, unless it's like a Marvel movie where they show the villain first and you're like, oh, okay, that's the person, whatever. But I definitely recall thinking at one point, I was like, oh, he's the murderer, he's got a deformed face. It's the fucking 60s. Of course he's a murderer. And then somewhere along the way I was like, well, he's not the murderer. Why would they do that? That would be such a cheap ending if you were the murderer. Now, yes, so spoiler, he turns out to be the murderer, which back in this time, that just kind of went without saying. Oh, of course he's deformed, so he probably kills women, that's rude. But I must say, I thought that the climax, again, this is 1965. I believe Doug Hobart was doing the effects as the Jellyfish Man. But I feel like the climax, though, dated, I thought it kind of added an extra layer of darkness to Egon's character. Especially when you kind of see everything come to fruition. Anyway, they taunt Egon, who is, of course, secretly in love with Karen. And unfortunately for him, Karen has fallen for John Hoyt, Dr. John Hoyt. But Egon can take revenge for all the wrongs done to him by turning himself into a half-man, half-jellyfish monster. And he picks off the girls one by one. Ruth. Well, we don't need to say. They actually call what he is the man-o-war, Portuguese man-o-war, which I didn't know is a type of jellyfish or a jellyfish. Anyway. At one point in this film, actually at two different points, so Egon runs off and the girls go do their other thing, and Dr. Richardson is going to start looking into some of the moitas of the fishermen that we heard in the beginning, and I at one point the dance party starts at the patio. 3 fucking minutes, dude. It was such a white dance party. I started to hate black people and Asians. I don't mean that. Everybody in the audience, calm down. I'm just saying that it was so fucking white. I was just like, oh, maybe you should get that Confederate flag for your car. I'm just having fun with you guys. I was so uncomfortable by the amount of whiteness that I was seeing during some of these go-go dancing. And don't get me started on Do the Jellyfish. I almost threw the remote through the TV. I don't, listen. I don't mind if there's a song at some point that is called Do the Jellyfish and people are doing go-go dancing. You can show that for maybe 25 seconds. Even if you were contractually obligated to have Do the Jellyfish in your film. You know, that was back in the time when it happened. Oh, you want the rights for the song? Well, you're going to play the whole fucking song. They played the whole fucking song, dude. And just so we're clear, the actual act of the jellyfish dance made me wonder if Martin Luther King wasn't executed correctly. I'm sorry. If you know me well enough, you know I'm just having fun. But Jesus Christ, we're talking the whitest shit I don't know if I have seen something that white in my lifetime. The go-go dancing to the jellyfish. Oh my God. Oh my words. You're really getting bent out of shape about this. Yeah, I was. It's so much so, and I had to annoy someone else with it, so I decided to annoy my chick with sending her videos, and she was just like, I don't know what's happening, and could you please stop? And I'm like, sure. And then I sent another one. And another one. Mainly because if I had to sit through 4 minutes of this shit, somebody else needed to suffer too. Because it was the actual sending of those and annoying her that didn't make me become a full-blown racist. Anyway, this movie is called The Sting of Death, and it is about a jellyfish man. Now, I will say I do like the how and the why of the jellyfish, even if, you know, if you don't forgive the effects that you're seeing in 1965, because, I mean, some of it, like, there's at one point where Egon sticks his hands into this fish tank that supposedly are filled with jellyfish, and the mixture of electricity, salt water, jellyfish, and human blood is what makes it so that Egon can breed and control jellyfish. Right. Anyway, when he has his hands in the aquarium, there's this sequence, and it's just a small, like, you know, a very small, like, countertop aquarium. At one point when he jacks up the voltage leading into the aquarium, like, his face just becomes all gelatinous. And people that have seen the movie, maybe you can tell me, by putting his hands into the aquarium, in the electricity, did that make him turn into the jellyfish man? Or is he putting on a costume of the jellyfish man? Now, when you watch it, you would be led to believe that he sticks his hands in the aquarium with human blood and jellyfish and electricity, that it turns him into the jellyfish man. But when you see it, I don't know if it was superbly executed. But in that sequence, I will say, I did have good fun because, as I've talked about a lot on the show, I am a fan of old Hollywood. And I mean, that set, Egon's Lair, if you want, it was very Shatner Star Trek. It was very just old school 60s, fluorescent colors, just like very very distinct color tones, very distinct set design. And I thought it was good. I on the one hand thought it was good. On the other hand, I thought it's kind of executed really well. The final fight sequence is not. I had to pop on the end fight sequence of the Raid 2, and I'm actually not joking. I'm Loking. I'm not joking. I had to put on the final fight in Raid 2 to make up for the damage that the final fight in Sting of Death did to my brain. It was... Ooh, and I get it. Like the man in the suit, Doug Hobart, playing the Jellyfish Man. You know, you have this suit in the '60s. You know, this has not occurred. Are the days of a breathable costume and makeup for monsters. You know, like you read telltale of legend of like what Boris Karloff and Lon Chaney and all of them had to go through to bring these characters to life. And boy, does it show at the end of Sting of Death, where you're just going, oh, I guess Doug is having a real tough time moving around here, because I shit you not, they must circle John and Egon, or Jellyfish Man, must circle each other. I don't 2 minutes. Just circling each other. Very minimal damage is given. It's very slow too. It is very, and I can sit back and watch movies from the time that they're made, and I understand that we live in a time now where it's like, give me a new image, give me new information, new image, new information, new info. I get it. But if you're not used to films like these, like if you've never really watched some of the golden oldies, the classics, something like this, you're just gonna want to put a bullet in your head, because it just goes on and on and on, and it's very old school Hollywood in the storytelling. And what I mean by that, well, you'll have to see surface level. I told myself that I was only gonna do 15 minutes a piece on these, and here we are at 28 minutes. But and the other ones I'm just going to tell you are going to be shorter. Like I can't watch all the movies. I can't watch 7 films, the bonus features, and do a half an hour on each one. There are still, like I said, 18 more films on my docket to go. Now, some of those I'm going to go through the bonus features on, like Maniac Cop 2 and 3. I'll go through the bonus features on those, but I can't do it all. I can't do all of them, and of course I can't get out of my own way. So we're just gonna shut this one down right now. I'm sorry. This one should have only been 15-20 minutes. I'll try to do better next time. Sting of Death, William Grefé, about a killer jellyfish man. You know what? I said at the top of the show that if you'd have said that I would be talking about a killer jellyfish man 3 years ago, I'd have laughed in your face. I don't know if there's a better home for Sting of Death. Ellis Cinema, Sting of Death, the William Grefé collection by Arrow Video, available now. Now, if you're worried about pulling the trigger on those, you can stream a lot of these for free on Tubi. And if you like it, found it to be comfort food like myself, buy the goddamn box set. Let's keep physical media going. I'm sure members of the audience are getting kind of tired of my let's keep physical media going. They don't want it. They rather just stream it. But fuck, man. I am going to be a physical media guy until they put me in the ground. You heard me? William Grefé, Arrow Video, Ellis Cinema, gone.